Good morning, it's Tom. This is Negotiating with Jesus. We're going to continue to read through Mark. And I'm looking pretty scruffy. I got to shave pretty soon. I got to preach Sunday. And I think we're at the end of John chapter 20. That's what we're doing at church. But what we're doing online is I am doing just thinking about life. I'm doing some music. And I'm going to be reading through the book of Mark. So we're on chapter 3. That's what I'm going to do today. It's a small chapter. So if you remember to review, chapter 1, John the Baptist. He baptizes. So Jesus runs into John the Baptist and gets baptized. And you see a dove-like spirit presence come upon him. And he goes out and starts teaching, healing, casting out demons. And people actually say out loud, I have demons that I'm struggling with. So maybe they're an alcoholic, or maybe they have dark thoughts or are depressed, whatever the demons that haunt you. Jesus casts them out. Could you imagine being a depressed person and having darkness as a presence in your life, and then it's cast away? Wouldn't that be fantastic? It actually can happen, and it's miraculous, and people act like miracles don't happen. So people are whatever they are. So then he's going out, he starts to do things to heal on the Sabbath, on the day of rest, and the political or the religious leaders don't like this guy at all. So that is a thing too. So we're on chapter 3. That's my quick review. Then Jesus entered the synagogue. So he's going to go right up to where religious leaders hang out. Jesus entered the synagogue again. And a man was there who had a withered hand. And my hand is withering. My thumbs, I'm getting some kind of arthritic thing that is super uncomfortable, and I don't like it. I'd like to be healed. Thank you. Please pray for me. There's a man who had a withered hand. They watched Jesus closely to see if he would heal him on the Sabbath so that they could accuse him. Yeah, you want to find people who are doing good and accuse them. That's what you want to do in this world. So he said to the man who had the withered hand, "Stand up among all these people." Then he said to them, "Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath or evil, to save a life or destroy it?" But they were silent. After looking around at them in anger, grieved by the hardness of their hearts, he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He stretched it out, and his hand was restored. Boom. That'd be fantastic. So the Pharisees went out immediately and began plotting with the Herodians as to how they could assassinate him. That is crazy. Look at the miracle he just did, the goodness he brought into the world. Let's kill him. Could people be like that? Yes, they could. Wait till you hear all the political promises that people make. And the people that want the other guy, they will hate the guy making promises. People do that, yeah. Then Jesus went away with his disciples to the sea, and a great multitude from Galilee followed him. And from Judea, Jerusalem, Idumea, whatever that is, beyond the Jordan River, and around Tyre and Sidon, a great multitude came to him when they heard about the things he had done. Yeah, he's healing somebody? I need to be healed. What? I have darkness that is a demon that follows me. I need to be, I need help from a healer. Yeah, that would draw a crowd. Because of the crowd, he told his disciples to have a small boat ready for him so the crowd would not press toward him. For he had healed so many that all who were afflicted and with disease pressed toward him in order to touch him. You could see that at a Taylor Swift concert. People feel in some way uplifted, healed. Their darkness is faded, and they want to touch Taylor. They press in on her. She has to have big guys thrust them away. Yeah, that happens. What makes you think this story is weird? It's as normal as anything you've ever heard in your life. They were pressed toward him in order to touch him. And whenever the unclean spirits saw him, they fell down before him and cried out, "You are the Son of God!" And he sternly ordered them not to make him known. He's laying low. Now Jesus went up to the mountain and called for those he wanted, and they came to him. He appointed 12, so that they would be with him, and he could send them to preach and have authority to cast out demons. To Simon he gave the name Peter, which means rock. To James and John, the sons of Zebedee, he gave the name Boanerges, that is, sons of thunder. What? He gives great nicknames to these three followers, the rock and sons of thunder. Man, that'd be fantastic. And Philip, Andrew, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, and James, son of Alphaeus, Thaddeus, Simon the Zealot, and Judas Iscariot, who would betray him. Now Jesus went home, and a crowd gathered so that they were not able to eat. When his family heard this, they went out to restrain him, for they said, "He is out of his mind." Have you ever had family not support you and, in fact, oppose you? Oh, that couldn't happen. This story's too weird. It couldn't happen. Obviously, it could happen. This is all real life and the story of a historical person who's living exactly a wonderful life, and all these things are happening exactly as you would expect. The experts in the law who came down from Jerusalem said, "He is possessed by Beelzebub." If you start singing Queen, what's the name of the song? Yeah, you know the song. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me. Yeah. He is possessed by Beelzebub, and by the ruler of demons he casts out demons. So he called them and spoke to them in parables. How can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom will not be able to stand. If a house is divided against itself, that house will not be able to stand. And if Satan rises against himself and is divided, he is not able to stand, and his end has come. No one is able to enter a strong man's house and steal his property unless he first ties up the strong man. Then he can thoroughly plunder his house. I tell you the truth, people will be forgiven of all sins, even the blasphemies they utter. But whoever blasphemes against the Holy Spirit will never be forgiven, but is guilty of an eternal sin, because they said he has an unclean spirit. So that, we got a couple more verses. Just my commentary is, Abraham Lincoln uses this house divided phrase, so it's perfectly normal. They accuse him of having a demon. He's like, no, I just tied the demon up and took what the demon had possessed. I took it from him. I can't be on the demon's side, tie him up, and steal his property. He had this person. This person was possessed by this strong force of evil, and I pushed it aside, tied him up, and took what was possessed. And Jesus is like rolling his eyes, going, you guys are foolish. You're saying very sins that are like eternal. You're telling me I'm possessed by a demon. What is possessing you? So, you want to be a little cautious when you're throwing around stupid words. Then Jesus' mother and his brothers came. Standing outside, they sent word to him to summon him. A crowd was sitting around him, and they said to him, "Look, your mother and your brothers are outside looking for you." He answered them and said, "Who are my mother and my brothers?" And looking at those who were sitting around him in a circle, he said, "Here are my mother and my brothers. For whoever does the will of God is my brother and sister and mother. So Jesus welcomes in a new type of family. And family, you have family, and I love family, and family is good. But you also have friends that are as close as family and sometimes closer. Jesus says, look, don't think the world is the way you understand it. There are greater things coming. And so he does these things. And it's obvious that all this could happen. It's obvious that all this did happen. It has impacted the world and hopefully you. That's it for today.